Good morning, Spain. Today I'm going to talk about disconnected intimacy and the hidden cost of pornography and OnlyFans on the youth, young adults, and also adults.
You know this is a morning show.
I know this is a morning show, but if you're a parent
it's important.
or you're a young adult, I think it's important to listen.
I do too.
Yeah. I think there's been an age-old argument, which is the exposure of the young towards explicit material, right back to kind of Elvis's jiggle on stage and then flying
He
forward.
moved his hips.
I know, he moved
How
his hips.
dare he?
And then his, violent movies.
He didn't just
you know.
move his hips. He moved his hips.
Yeah.
He really did.
So, and the effect that this may have on the young, and it seems more prominent than ever before now with the age of digitalization. So, porn is extremely accessible, okay? And it's also the content is extremely graphic now. Anybody can enter it. You have the gateway, which is, are you 18? Click yes, it's the responsibilities on the consumer. But the stats show that 90% of male boys by the age of 14 are consuming regular pornographic content.
That's very young.
Yeah, and 60% of girls are consuming regular porn by the age of 14.
And a lot of it's very dark, no?
It is very dark, which was where I was
There's such a
gonna go
vulnerable
with it.
age exploring that whole world.
The adolescent brain goes through this, I've said this on the program about a year ago, it goes through this massive neurological change, which rapid growth, which is the same as when you were a baby before 18 years old. So you're soaking up everything like a sponge, but also impulse control is not really working properly, and emotional control and stuff like that is not really working properly. What's coming through the therapy doors, and has been for about 2 decades now, is the normalization of certain extreme sexual acts which have become normalized within
Or you just look
the
at
pornographic
the
community.
pop stars,
Yeah.
how they dress, how they gyrate,
Yeah.
how they crawl across the stage.
It's so
Yes,
true.
it's thrown at you, as is OnlyFans, and then we'll get onto that one as well. So what's happening is young girls are conditioned into thinking they have to be pretty, obviously available, attractive, completely open to whatever is required of them within sexual acts, and to be completely happy with this as well. And what it's doing is it's actually blurring the idea of consent. And a lot of girls are coming into therapy rooms with feelings of shame and guilt, feeling dirty. They develop OCD traits and things like this. And the narrative is very similar to what you used to hear from, or still hear, from young people who were abused, which is, I kind of consented, but I didn't at the same time. It felt wrong. I'm in a situation I can't get out of. I didn't say no because it's kind of expected. And you get this kind of distorted view of what consent actually is.
And all because at that age they want to be liked.
Yes.
They want to be accepted.
Exactly.
They want to be
They just want to
accepted.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boys are not, boys don't escape this. So what's happening with the male side of things is boys are being kind of conditioned into, there's an aggression towards women, there's a need to perform and be kind of alpha male about it. But what goes across both genders, if you like, is a complete disconnect from the emotional side of sex and relationships, which is severely becoming missed.
Distorted.
Yeah, really becoming distorted. And like I said, this consent. So it's becoming a problem because the content is becoming more and more graphic and pushing the limits all the time. I think 2 years ago, research was showing that the most searched topic within porn sites was the stepfamily situation, which is quite telling. And it's all role play, supposedly.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's what people are looking for.
That's what people are searching. That's
It's
the
very
highest
twisted,
search
isn't it?
term. Yeah.
Very
Oh my
twisted.
God.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah. And the problem with porn is, porn has an addictive cycle. So what's going on in the brain is you get a dopamine spike, you get a hit, not a natural dopamine rise and then fall. You get this spike, so you get a trough. That's the same if you take drugs, if you drink, if you gamble. So it's the same thing, and it stimulates the risk and reward centers within the brain. So what happens is, the more spikes you get, the lower your natural dopamine baseline becomes. So the more of a spike you need. not only does that mean consumption goes up, but so does the explicitness of the content go up to get the bigger hit. And then there's a normalization that happens. So there's this expectation between adolescents, but adults are not impervious to this either, that you will perform for me this way, and I have to do this as well, and I will perform this way. So, don't want to get too graphic, but group sex, things like that are becoming completely normalized within the adolescent community.
Always looking for that bigger hit, that
but
high.
there's an emotional fallout from this, which is that neurologically they're not developed enough emotionally to make certain decisions and to be able to handle the outcome.
It feels like almost like you know when you get like paedophiles and things like that, and that they check out who their victims are going to be, and they they
groom them.
That's the word I was looking for. It feels like it's like mass grooming.
Definitely. Very
And
sad.
It's very sad.
I'm in shock.
And the fact it's so accessible on the internet.
Yes,
because
that's
it's
the big problem.
not just protecting your YouTube channel, it's the TikTok, it's the Instagram, it's the Telegram, it's the Snapchat. That one's a big one, I think, a big worry, the Snapchat.
And it's for youngsters to think that they're normal sexual relationships. Like when you have sex, that's how I'm supposed to behave.
Yes.
This is how the man's going to treat me. This is how I'm going. If they're seeing lots of it, and that's how they see
their
sex.
norm.
They think
That's
it's
their
the
norm.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is
not
the problem.
And I
normal,
just
is it?
remember when I was young, obviously before phones and before social media and before computers and all of that, like there were lads mags or guys would look at catalogues with women in underwear.
We've gone
And
way
that
past
was like,
that.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like,
That's a bit
oh.
dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally
Playboy,
just looking at
the
women in
articles are
underwear.
good.
Can you
Yes.
imagine? Yeah.
Was a much more.
But guys hiding Littlewoods catalogues under
Exactly.
the bed just because there was women in underwear. I
got
mean,
a
think
lot
how
more
it's
hardcore.
changed.
Yeah.
There was a
Incredible.
joke flying around with a lot of comedians that in an age of inclusivity, diversity and equality, the pornographic industry is right at the top because anything goes. You can search for anything you want, any kind of kink
it's there.
fetish, it's there, and it's extreme. So it is normalizing all of this. So, and it's affecting adult relationships as well. So I have a lot of adult clients come in, and what people don't realize is the damage you're actually literally, if you consume porn to quite an extent, and some people do because it's got an addictive tendency. Now you're actually changing the architecture of your brain, and you're actually changing what things stimulate you. So we're now finding adults within relationships who are no longer stimulated by the physical act of sex, because the stimulus is so much of watching it. It changes. That's the thing that turns you on. This voyeurism, this kind of vicarious way of doing it. So then I'm getting couples coming in the room and like, he can't get excited by us having sex, and it's like, well, no, because this guy's consuming 20 hours of porn per week.
Wow.
Can't live up to that.
No,
way.
but his stimulus has changed without him even
Wow.
realizing
So
what's
sad.
gone
Yeah.
on.
I mean, is there any solution except being aware to like?
Yes, there are a few solutions. The UK and Australia are calling for digital literacy to begin being taught in schools. That's one thing.
What does
so
that
there is to become a little bit more aware of what's out there on the internet, what you're consuming, what it does to you, and then extend it further with regards to sexual relations, to include, and parents can do this as well. The first thing to do is not to shame your teenager or young adult, not to shame your partner, whatever. You've got caught in a trap, which is addictive, and it's changed your perception of things. And what you need to do is teach and educate about the emotional side of things and making good emotional decisions, emotional connection, what goes on in a loving, healthy relationship. Because what they're consuming is giving the wrong message.
100%.
So the porn
They
industry
need
is
the parents to explain.
Which
Exactly.
is exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
This is why we're talking about it on a breakfast show, because this is today's reality.
Yeah.
Well, that industry is the biggest sex educator we have, and it's the worst teacher we have in
that's
terms
true.
of relationships.
Yeah.
And then when you, the other thing that's of interest, if you're still not quite convinced, check out the link, because most porn channels, not that I know, dear, are
Your
set
friend
out
told
Only
you.
on a need to know
My
basis.
friend
Work.
told me.
My friend told
Only
me.
because work,
Well,
you need
yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Research, absolutely.
They're set out like YouTube, lots of thumbnails for the videos and the titles. And a lot of the research is done on the content. Okay, here's the content is bad. They don't, and there's been a bit of research done on the title. So the language used is aggressive towards females and rewarding towards males. So, girl used like a toy, girl destroyed by group of men.
Oh,
Yes, this is literally the language. And then the other videos are lucky guy gets to sleep with his girlfriend and her best friend. So it's the language is completely different as well, which is
it's
again
all praising the
influencing.
man and degrading the woman.
Degrading the
so
woman.
parents, a lot of work there.
Yeah.
Seek professional guidance if necessary. No shaming.
No
Talk
shaming.
about it. The same as don't put your
Yes.
fingers in the light socket. It's a conversation
And
that needs to be
I've got
had.
some websites I can give you. Maybe you can flash them up. Because this is becoming a thing now, which the world is kind of recognizing. Parents need help. People need help. People who are hooked on porn need help with this because it does so much damage neurologically.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Simon.
You're very welcome.
Thank you,
Wow.
Simon.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, scary.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.